Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Patient Players Podcast. My name is Daniel. I'll be your host today, joined by my wonderful co-host, Jordan. How you doing, Jordan?
No, I'm not normal Jordan, sorry.
Oh.
I am...
what have you done with Jordan?
I'm alternate world Jordan. I'm Sleepy Jordan.
Sleepy Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know Spooky Jordan? Are you friends with Spooky Jordan?
Yeah, I talked to him this morning, and I said, hey, I really want to be on the podcast this morning. Is it okay if we switch off? And he said that was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Even though it is Halloween, I was like, dude, are you sure? It's like it's your big day. It's like today's the
busy.
Day. Oh, that explains it. Yeah, he needed to go haunt people. So
yeah, he's got a lot on his plate today.
I came from the spooky parallel universe where the sleepy parallel universe where everyone is their sleepy forms of themselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm Sleepy Jordan.
Does like at the intersection of the sleepy and the spooky universes, is there like a nightmare zone?
No, I don't think those line up. I think there's like a desserts one between those two universes. So there's dessert and spooky, and then there's dessert and sleepy. Yeah.
So you had to do like a layover in the dessert land before you got here?
Yeah, actually you can just take a flight right over. It's incredible the transportation that they offer.
I imagine you wouldn't want to stay at the intersection of spooky and dessert. That probably
are absolutely correct.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Today you are listening to episode 56. This is our November the 2nd edition of the Patient Players Podcast. Here we're going to talk about gaming. We're going to talk about gaming in the slow lane, which is our term for going back to games that we enjoying updates to those games, finding games that we might have missed when they first came out for a good deal, talking about free games, things like that. It's going to be a fun ride. If you haven't been here before, we're going to talk about our games we've been playing, any deals we might have found, and then we're going to end with the best part of the podcast, the Q&A section, where we're going to answer questions from you, the listener, about life, the universe, and everything, and video games if you want to ask about that. Those questions, you can get us at our email at patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com, or a number of other ways to ask us questions over on patientplayers.com/social. So welcome to the podcast, like I said. And I would love to know what you have been up to this week, Jordan.
Games, life,
that's cool,
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Are games not the pursuit of happiness inherently?
Sometimes.
I guess that's true.
Depends on the game.
Sometimes it's the pursuit of gamer rage.
Yeah, man. You know, Google has those doodles
of the Google logo.
Yeah, the Google Doodles.
Yeah,
and you can actually go to google.com/doodles to view a comprehensive list of every Google Doodle they've ever done. It's crazy.
Didn't know about that, but that makes sense that they have that archive out there.
You need to play on your mobile device the Google Doodle for Halloween.
Like this one?
Uh-huh.
Google Doodle for Halloween. Okay.
It is
on
very
your mobile
fun.
Device?
It is so much fun. You can play it on a computer, but I don't recommend it.
Okay.
It's
Now you got me curious. Now I want to like check it out and like live react.
I was playing it last night, and it's a solid game for a Google Doodle.
There's like a space cat and a pirate ship. Wait, what am I looking at?
It's actually a mage cat. Thank you very much.
Oh, I like it already. Should I unmute?
Unmute the space cat.
Is the sound good? Oh, wizard cat, you vanquished the ghost. What?
Yeah, it's like It's kind of up your alley. It's you're like drawing combinations to dispel the ghosts that are.
It's like a magical rune thing.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's a fun little experience. It lasts like maybe 5 to 10 minutes for a Google Doodle that you can just go on Google.com and hit play.
Wow. Yeah, this is certainly weird. Oh. Okay.
I
see. Yeah, I was watching the cutscene. You're right, though, that you got to draw the line. Okay, this isn't exactly what I was expecting, but this is quite the Google Doodle. I feel like you could do it with a mouse, but yeah, I see what you mean, because it involves drawing. Okay.
It's much, much easier with a touch finger.
Yes. Wow. Well, that is a game I did not expect to have played or that you had played.
I know, and it's
strange
free.
Little thing.
And yeah, so if you guys are looking for some cheap games, just go on google.com/doodles. They actually keep up all of their previous games. Someone last night was showing me their Halloween game from 2018, which is a 4v4 game where you're running around getting like little embers and stealing them from other players as a little 2D ghost.
Are there people actively playing it?
Yeah, he got on and immediately found a match. So people are playing this 2-year-old doodle game.
Wow. That's bizarre to me. Like, in my head, I'm picturing, like, being a kid playing, like, Flash games on the internet, and, like, those are dying at the end of this year, right? Because Flash is going away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I guess to some modern kid, like, their version is just go to these Google games. And
Flash
like,
games are Google Doodles.
That's amazing.
You know how I like flipping words?
Yes.
Google Doodle is hard. It's
Google
Goodle. Yeah.
Yeah, because they each repeat that first letter later in the word, so your brain wants to take both of them over.
Say that 3 times fast. Dougal Goodle, Dougal Goodle, Dougal Goodle. Oh,
you did it.
That was actually really easy.
Yeah, congratulations. You're a master at it now.
Yeah.
You've already completed your challenge.
So while I've been doodling on Google, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, if you want to talk about some great free games, if you are looking to play something, let me tell you about some Genshin Impact. Again, for like the 3rd week in a row. Still been playing that.
Did you like that ad that I sent you last night?
Yeah, I don't... It was funny on its own. I don't know how it related to Genshin Impact at all.
I saw it, but I thought, this looks terrible. I hate everything about this. But also, it reminds me of Genshin Impact for absolutely no reason. Just because...
Is it just because it's Chinese? Is that it?
Yeah,
is that as simple as it is?
That's
okay.
It, yeah, but also it was so terrible that I wanted to send it to you just because I watched it and I was like,
does that
ad
have a name so that people can look it up? Because that was a really terrible ad.
I'm glad that you hated it too, because I forgot I had sent it to you, and then last night Marion was like, "Oh, I forgot to show him this," and I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "I forgot that I sent that." No,
what's the game called? It was just like it was like an Instagram ad or something, right?
Legend of the Phoenix.
Yeah, it had like the most bizarre ad about like making the right choices as like, oh, my childhood friend became the emperor's concubine in like feudal China, and now an assassin is after me, and it's like death by needle, and I was like, what is happening?
Oh my word! Oh, I was cracking up when I was just scrolling through Instagram, just chilling. And then I saw that, and I couldn't stop watching. You know, I'll see like the dumb ads, and I'm like, okay, I need to see how bad this is. That one was so bad. I was like,
that's why they make them that bad.
Beautiful.
So I guess that's the way for an advertiser to get to your heart, is just make their advertisement a horrific train wreck you can't look away from.
They did. It worked. I'm not gonna get it, but I had a good time watching it. It's a little ad.
You are advertising it for free on the podcast, though.
Oh no.
Look at what you've become. You've become part of the machine.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the gameplay is probably nothing from what was in the trailer.
It was hilarious looking. Anyways, Genshin Impact is not like that game whatsoever. I will say I had an interesting path with Genshin Impact this week. So I felt like for the first half of the week, I didn't get a lot of time to play it, but I was still doing like my daily quests. And honestly, because I wasn't playing it outside of those things, it started to feel really routine and more like a chore. Like it felt like those. It felt like a mobile game, right? It felt like, oh, I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna stop playing, right? But I played it a bunch last night. I played it for like an hour and a half last night, and I played it on my computer instead of on my phone, and it was just like, it was refreshing. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how fun this game is to just play. I just like this game. So I'm really glad that happened, because I'm like reinvigorated on Genshin Impact. I'm about to leave on a trip for next week, so I'll be away from my home for a while. So the phone will be the only way I have to play Genshin Impact, and I'll need an internet connection, which I won't always have. So I probably won't get very far this week, but I will at least have time to log in and do like the events at some point through each day.
I still can't fathom that it doesn't support a controller. I honestly can't get over that.
On the phone, yeah, that's a huge. If it did, honestly, I would probably play it a lot more on the phone. I'd probably play it like 50-50.
You know, like little like phone holders you can clip onto like an Xbox controller, and then there you go. It's a makeshift switch. Oh, spoilers.
Or at the very least, just like I have a phone holder, like let me just set my phone up and connect it. They did all this work with iOS to let the controllers work. Right. Honestly, I'm wondering if it's something about the technology of the game, because we've already talked about how weird the controller support is on PC, in that like you have to go into the options and set it every time that you play, and then like as soon as you set it as controller, all of the mouse and keyboard inputs like stop. it doesn't smoothly switch between them like other games do. So I don't know what they're doing on the technology end, but I guess they can't have controllers on phones yet. That's too impossible for them.
Mm-hmm. Small indie game, by the way.
I mean, it's a big old Chinese game.
Small indie
not even
studio.
not even pretending to be small indie. But they had another event. Remember I was telling you about like the cool Elemental Arena event? This one is super different. It's like you get a hint about some location in the world that this traveling merchant is each day. And you got to go find him, and you can trade him like 10 of some mundane item like a fruit or a flower or something. And he'll let you open one of his like special boxes, and he's got, I think, 7 or 8 of them. And you can do one every day, and they have like a bunch of premium currency and a bunch of like extra goodies and stuff like that. So I've been doing those each day. I think I've gotten 5 or 6 out of the total amount. So I got a few more days left on that event. It's a really nice way to get a boost. Honestly, they at the beginning of the month when they switched which character is like the featured character for you to try to unlock, they had like a little storyline they tried telling where that new character was sending you messages every day for like 5 days about what she's doing on like this adventure she's going on, because she's like a little girl, and so it's like kind of a cutesy thing. It was weird, but so in your like inbox where the developers will send you like notices and updates and stuff, you would get a letter from her every day, and attached to the letter was like a buttload of premium currency every day.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm talking about like $3 to $4 worth every single day.
Whoa.
For 5 days. And so when I'm playing regularly and doing all the daily activities, and I'm getting that boost of currency from my subscription thing that I have, every time I do that, I usually get around enough for 10 loot boxes in like a week. But I just opened 10 yesterday, and I'm almost have enough for another 10. Like I think if I played for 30 minutes today, I'd have enough for another 10 loot boxes today, because they've just been throwing the currency at me.
With her being like the special selection from the boxes, does the rate go up from like 1% to like 2.5 or something stupid like that?
I actually checked this again last night. I can tell you the exact percentages.
Oh, so, sweet. Like even what it was before?
So in a normal loot box, in the everyday average loot box, there is a 0.6% chance of getting a 5-star item.
0.6?
Now, that is a 0.3% chance to be a 5-star character and a 0.3% chance to be a 5-star weapon. You are guaranteed one every 90 boxes, and so when you add that in, it's technically a 1.6% chance of getting a 5-star item. But only half of that is a character, right? Then you have the special featured character boxes, and when you open those, it is the 0.6 is all for a character, so there's no chance of getting a 5-star weapon anymore. But then, so it's 6.6% normally. They still have that same 90% guarantee, so it's still overall a 1.6% chance to get that 5-star character. And then if you get a 5-star character in the special box, there's a 50% chance it's the featured one.
Okay. Wow, that not good odds.
No, it's not. It means that you would have to spend... They do have a literal guarantee, though, that if you... So remember after 90 that you get the 5-star character? Mm-hmm. If that happens twice, and the first time you didn't get the featured character, the second time you are guaranteed to get the featured character. So
90 more?
Yeah, literal worst case scenario, you'd have to buy 180 loot boxes of the featured variety to get the character you want for sure, guaranteed.
And that's how many dollars? Do you know?
Oh, geez. They do the thing where the more you buy at once, the more it costs, right? But the lowest level of exchange is you get 300 currency for $5, and one loot box is 160 currency. So $5 gets you not quite 2 boxes, and you need 180 in order to get what you're looking for.
So like a lot. We're talking like the price of multiple consoles here, I'm assuming.
For a guarantee of the character you want, I bet you could easily spend like $200 to $300. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Did I ever tell you the tale of Jordan's Magic Kingdom?
I've experienced the world, the podcast, the world experienced your Magic Kingdom.
Oh my word! Did they really? Is that how long we've been doing this?
Yeah, you were playing Magic Kingdom. I mean, you didn't talk about it much. You were just like, yeah, I've been playing Disney's Magic Kingdom.
Okay. Well, fun fact about loot boxes in that game: it's one of those stupid games where the percentage rates can be as low as like 2.5% or 1%.
Right.
And they're crazy expensive too. But back when I started playing, I used the old noggin. So I had it on my iPad and my phone. They've since fixed this, which broke my heart. But I started playing like years after it had come out. So there was like all these premium characters that I didn't have. You had to get them all through loot boxes. But I realized that if I opened a loot box and I didn't get what I want, if I closed it immediately, opened it on my iPad, I would have my currency back and I could reopen the box and it would roll it again. So for months and months and months and months and months, every time an event would come around, like, hey, our old premium characters are back, I would have saved up all my free currency.
Oh my gosh.
And I would go through all like 7 of the characters for that event that have like from 10% to 1% drop rates. And I would just open like dozens and dozens and dozens of boxes without having to pay anything. So for a long time, I had every character in the game.
That's
which
broken.
Would have cost like thousands of dollars if you had been playing for as long as it had been out. But and then they fixed it and I was really sad, but it felt really nice to have all these characters in my Magic Kingdom that a ton of people did not have. You know, I'd go online, people would complain about their drop rates and how much money they're spending,
and you're like, hey, I cheat, suckers.
Yeah, and I have them all for free. Sometimes I would spend like 30 minutes to 45 minutes just opening boxes, just like open it, close, open it, close, open it, close, from device to device.
So what's the significance of having both of them?
Because if you close it and reopen it, it still has that data on the phone. So if you open it on the second one, it's like, hey, we have conflicting data. Do you want to open the local data or what was synced to the cloud?
Oh,
and so I would hit local, and that would resync it to the cloud, so I could switch back to the phone afterwards.
So they were keeping track of your premium currency locally on your device.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is a big mistake.
Yep.
And they paid for it, I guess. And by paid for it, I mean you didn't pay for it.
And the way they fixed it is kind of weird.
Okay.
Is that it's still locally saved, but the contents of the box that you open is not. That's what they sync to their server, is what is in the box that you got.
So you could still open it 100 times, so you get the same thing every time?
Yep, same thing.
I guess that's one way to solve it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So really, you could save up and buy like a bundle of them, like maybe like 5 or 10 all at once, open them, and then if you didn't get it, then you could just close and reset, and then you don't get to try again, but you get to keep your money.
Oh,
not quite the same.
Right. Interesting. Well, I have been playing Genshin Impact. It's been fun. It's not all about the premium currencies. It's just been fun, period, to play that game. I've reached a part. So they have the game broken out into these tiers, right? Where I mentioned that you hit like a certain total rank for your account, and the world level goes up, and everything becomes more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened to me 3 times. So I'm on like the 4th level of the world. And it is, at this point, I'd say become like a challenging game. Before that, I would walk into every fight like expecting to win. And at this point, because my characters aren't maxed out, because the level curve has kind of steepened up to where I can't just like instantly max level my character once I hit the next tier. I have to actually grind out some of the experience points and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now my characters aren't all over leveled, and they don't have like maximum of every ability that they can, because there's like 9 different ways to make them more powerful between artifacts and weapons and talents and all this stuff, that I'm kind of sitting at like what feels like a good place where for a while it felt a little too challenging, but I just upgraded some of my guys yesterday, and now I'm like, okay, I'm actually still able to beat most things, but it's not like a cakewalk every time. And I kind of like where that is. I hope it stays here for a while. And I know that you can actually hit the spot where you would be able to go to the next world level if you wanted to, but it won't trigger until you do a certain quest. And I kind of like that, because I feel like if it just levels up everyone in the world, then I'm just getting killed by everything now.
Yeah.
And I have to dump all of my resources into like one guy to make him strong enough to actually kill things. And sometimes I want to like spread out a little bit, and I want to upgrade some of the like lower level characters that I have. So
have you ever compared your progress with a friend of the podcast, Keaton, who's been playing the game for significantly longer than you had, or not significantly?
I thought it was only like a week or 2.
Yeah, but I'm sure he has more time to play it each week.
That's true. He probably is not playing as much other stuff as well. Mm-hmm. I could double check how much progress he's made for sure. Yeah, I know there. I have another like game news outlet that I follow, and some of the reviewers there are playing the game and really enjoying it. And I know that one of them has been playing basically as long as I have and just reached adventurer rank 16, and I just hit 32.
Oh.
So I know not everyone's making that much progress, and 16 is the one where you unlock co-op mode, but that didn't take me very long. That only took me like a week to get to adventure rank 16. So I don't know. I'll have to double check.
I forgot there was a co-op mode.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fun game. Maybe I could pull it up sometime when I'm not busy and play with Keaton. That'd be fun.
I'd watch that. I'd stream that.
Yeah, we could throw it up on the Patient Players channel as well. Posted.
He could hack into our stream once more.
Well, he would be invited to hack in this time because we get to play Genshin Impact.
Right.
That hasn't been all I've been playing. I actually continued to play, I'll mention it briefly, that like side-loaded Attack on Titan game on the Oculus Quest. I've played it way more than you probably should have because there's not a lot of stuff to do in it. You kind of just are there killing Titans. There's not like objectives, but I did find the achievements, and the achievements have unlockable cosmetics. So you can like change the look of your swords.
There's cosmetic and achievements in this side-loaded game that some random guy on Reddit made.
Yep.
What a hero. Not all heroes wear capes.
And like it can change like the color of the like wind trails that come off of your blades, or like when you boost your jets, like whether it's air that comes, it's like Rocket League, like it can be something that's not air coming out of your jets, and you can change the color of your blades and all that stuff. So I went in there and I was like trying to make a cool looking character, and then I found out that half of the cosmetic options are locked behind the achievements, and I was like, oh man. And I looked at them and I found the hardest achievement is they have a hardcore mode where they remove your UI. So it's just, you have your blades and your little jets, right? But it no longer shows you where you're pointing. You have to just get used to the angle of the hook, right? Very difficult. They have an achievement for getting 100 consecutive kills in hardcore mode without dying. And I have been trying to get it all week. It is very difficult. Like when I first started playing the game, it was an achievement to get like 2 or 3 kills in hardcore without dying. And I had to get 100.
Oh my.
Not only is that very difficult, it also takes a long time. Like I tried to do it like Tuesday or Wednesday at some point, and I spent probably like 40 minutes on it, and I got to 55. No, it was only like 30 minutes, but I got to like 55 and then I got eaten, and I was like really mad.
Oh, that stinks.
I was really grumpy. And then I tried it again and got to 72 and got eaten.
What?
And I was real upset about that. And it's not like I'm going to just jump back in and try again, right? Because it's been like 35 minutes of just playing this game, and you're just flying around killing Titans, which is fun, but like you're doing the same thing over and over again.
That reminds me of the Animal Crossing achievement where you have to catch, is it 50 or 100 fish in a row?
I think they had like 2 tiers. I think 100 is like the top tier.
Okay, yeah, I think 100 was the last one where you could get to like 95 and then mess up, and you're like, I don't want to go catch 100 fish in a row again. Like, I'll do this some other time.
Right, and you need to have like 9 fishing poles because that game has tool durability.
Yeah. That's crazy. What's the thing you unlock if you actually do beat it?
I think it's just like a cool pattern for the handle of your blades. It doesn't actually impact the way you look that much. You know what's annoying though is that when you unlock an achievement, then the item just unlocks and you can't go back and check which achievements are tied to which items. The only way you know that is before you unlock them. If you mouse over the item, it says, oh, you need this achievement first. So then you know what they're connected to, but after you achieve something, you can't remember what it was tied to.
Oh,
so
I see.
need to I will say that 2 nights ago, I tried again, and I was not in my office. I was in the living room with Marion, and I was playing, and I was kicking butt. And the thing is that when you don't have your UI turned on, you can't see how many you've killed because that's part of the UI. So you have to just either keep track of it manually, or if you are on your highest streak yet, you can check your high score, and your high score will continually update. And so until I got to 70, I didn't know if I was doing well or not. And then I checked my high score and I was at 81. And I was like, no. I'm so close. And then I was like at 82 or 3, and I got a low battery notification, and I was like, it's fine because, you know, most things can run like 20, 30 minutes on low battery, and I only need like 20% of the kills. Like I'm almost there, right? literally as I was flying to kill number 90, my headset just boop died. I was so upset.
Are you serious? And playing, it's not like Windows where it makes like a standby mode of whatever you're playing at the moment. It just
it didn't hibernate. It just I thought it might hibernate, so I went upstairs and plugged it in immediately, and then waited like 3 minutes and booted it back up, and it was just main menu of Oculus.
Are you kidding?
The game had crashed, and I booted it back up. It's like, yeah, your high score is like 90, dude. Good job, but that's all you get.
That's terrible.
So I did it again yesterday, and I got it. I got to 150.
So you did do it. Wow, this whole time you've been talking about the story, and I'm like, I can't wait to hear about it next week when he's going to tell me how he's been playing at Disney the whole week, every night. And then he finally did. No, you did it yesterday. Okay.
I got it yesterday. I got 150, and that solidly put me at 19th in the world on the leaderboard.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I cracked the top 20. I cracked the top 20. I listened to an entire podcast that was about 45 minutes long. So,
dude, we need to clip this and send it to the developer guy so you can tell him how much you love his sideload game.
I know. I honestly, I wanted to get the achievement first so that I could go on the Discord and be like, "Sup, everybody, number 19 in the world."
Yeah.
So I'm going to be away from my Oculus for a week or so. So I'll probably not do that right now, but I will come back in and be like,
what? Daniel, Oculus Quest 2 podcast, bought an Oculus Quest 2, which is portable, and he's going on a trip, and he's not taking it with him?
It's a little big for my suitcase. It has a travel case, which is great, but at the same time, I don't want to necessarily fly with expensive lens equipment, and then also I'm not exactly traveling across the country so that I can stand in a virtual reality headset like I do at my house. Kind of there for other reasons.
Okay.
I mean, if
I'm
I was
still
like
shocked. I am still absolutely shocked. To me, the cliche Daniel thing would be like, yeah, and I'm bringing my Oculus Quest 2 headset where if I want to sit in bed at night and watch a movie, I can. And then I would be like, dude, what you're doing, you're at Disney. Like, don't bring your headset. And you'd be like, oh, I'm bringing it just in case. So, like, I'm surprised that you're, like, not bringing it.
I mean, I guess you found the line where it's drawn. If I was going to your house, I'd bring my laptop and I'd bring my headset and I'd bring the cable to connect the two just in case I wanted to. But no, not for this trip.
And can't you even like remote control your computer from it now?
Yeah.
So like it's even like you're just bringing your Office with you in a headset.
Well, I'd have to bring a computer.
Do that, I would bring it heckin' everywhere. Like, oh, hold on, guys, I need something for my computer. Wow.
Oh, you're saying like back home? No, I'm not gonna like connect over the internet. That lag would be atrocious. Can you imagine that? That sounds horrible.
Depends on what the Disney Wi-Fi is.
But yeah, I definitely did consider bringing it and then decided against it for this trip.
Interesting.
It's funny that I mentioned like bringing my laptop and doing VR stuff off of the laptop because I got that earlier this year. I wanted to talk about that for a second because not very long, but just to vent some frustrations. I went to boot up Genshin Impact on my laptop so I could play it on my living room TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think on like Tuesday or when was it? Monday night or Tuesday. And I booted it up and oh my goodness, it was running terribly. It was just running like absolute butts. And
oh, no.
I had this happen with Genshin Impact before once. I had like turned down graphics to lowest when it wasn't plugged in, but then I plugged it in and it was fine. Well, this time around it was plugged in and it was running horribly. It could like not even run on the lowest setting. Like something was wrong. Something was really wrong.
You got hit by that Windows update again?
I don't know what it was, but let me tell you, it was like, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours of troubleshooting across 2 days.
Yikes.
Like, remember I got this nice laptop from the company Electronics earlier this year?
Mm-hmm.
So I like called Electronics because they're like a smaller company and they have like a personal tech support thing. So I was like, hey, like here's all these problems I'm having, and they had me download all these like benchmark programs and check all these settings. And it was a good like 2 days of troubleshooting this nonsense, and I was so mad at it. it got to the point where it was like so ridiculous that I found out it ran better when it was unplugged from the power, which is like super bizarre.
What?
And this is not the first time I've had this exact problem happen to a laptop. My old work laptop, I had to get replaced. My company sent me a brand new laptop because, again, I spent like 3 weeks trying to troubleshoot why it would just randomly start running full fan, full load, doing nothing. Like I had an Excel spreadsheet open and my whole computer was like lagging to do anything. So I run into this problem before. I'm like, what is going on with these computers? I found the solution this time. It felt so good. I fixed it and my laptop is running beautifully.
Oh, good.
It was a power option. If this ever happens to you, I'll just say it on the podcast, but not to go into the boring details. But basically, in your power profile that determines how much power your computer uses when it's plugged in or not plugged in, there's a setting called, under the advanced settings, it's called video content, and you can either have it on balanced, optimized for quality, or optimized for power savings. When it's plugged in, the default is to optimize for quality, and when it's unplugged, it's on balanced. I just changed it to balanced while it's plugged in, and it fixed everything.
Wow.
Which is a bigger deal than just Genshin Impact, because I bought that so that I could do VR on the go. And I tried it for the first time. It's been months because I can't really go anywhere, but I was with my parents and I brought my new headset and I wanted to show them Google Earth VR.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Which isn't on the Quest. So I downloaded it on my laptop. I launched it and it was running so poorly it was making me sick. Like I put the headset on and I couldn't even turn my head without the whole thing freezing and stuttering. It was just it was not working at all. The same fix to the power option, it's running beautifully. I spent like 45 minutes in Google Earth VR on my laptop the other day, and it felt like it was just plugged into my main computer. Like I'm super excited about being able to go places with my laptop and just a single cord plugged into my laptop, and all of a sudden I'm playing VR stuff.
Where did you say these options were? I want to know where they are just in case I run into that in the future. Because something similar happened to my buddy Sam a few years ago. He built this amazing gaming computer. And I was like, great, he has a gaming computer. Let's play Borderlands 2. And he was getting like 15 to 20 frames a second that he was not having a fun time. And I'm like, dude, this game is literally like 6 years old at the time. How is your amazing computer not running this? And it was a desktop too, but the reason was Windows had some stupid power saving thing turned on automatically.
Weird.
Like out of the box, and it just nuked all his settings.
I don't know what it is, because like I didn't change it, so I don't know what causes this. But if you do run into this, under your control panel and power options, you have a power plan. So like on a desktop, you're just going to have one of them. On a laptop, you probably are going to have one for when it's plugged in, one for when it's unplugged. And if you go to advanced power settings, it brings up this whole list of things you can do, of like, when does your hard drive go to sleep, what happens to your USB ports when it's asleep, that kind of thing. But at the very bottom of that list, there's a group of settings called your multimedia settings. And then there is a when playing video option. And like on my desktop right now, it's set to optimize video quality and it works fine. But on my laptop, that setting was screwing everything up. So I had to change it to balanced and it magically fixed everything. So
interesting. Mine's on high performance. Should I put it on balanced? Or are you saying or high performance is fine?
I mean, if it works, right? Only change it if it's broken. I don't think it's supposed to nuke all of your settings like it did on my laptop. But...
I was playing Overwatch last night, and for some reason now what Overwatch does when I start playing for the first maybe 5 or 7 minutes, I'll just be playing and then it'll drop down to I think the counter said 12 frames for a few seconds. It is very jarring. I'm just having a good old time, in 120 frames running smoothly, and then and I'm just flinging my mouse around on the mouse pad, come on, and it's and I'm like, okay, well, and I just wait for it to go away, and then it comes back to nice smooth 120, and I'm like, okay, that's a thing, I guess.
Super weird.
That's new.
I was worried for a bit that I had accidentally gotten a Bitcoin miner on my computer, because remember that happened to my wife a few years ago, and I had downloaded a game on my laptop that was the same one that we played with her right around the time she got the Bitcoin miner. So I was like, oh no, did I accidentally install this this bad file? But thankfully it was not a Bitcoin miner. The next day, I mean, this isn't relevant, so it's just gonna be 1 or 2 sentences for gaming, but the next day, after I spent 4 or 5 hours fixing my laptop, my Wi-Fi router decided that the 5 gigahertz channel just doesn't need to work all the time. and was just randomly crashing over and over again. And I work from home, so I literally could not do work for an entire day. And spent a bunch of time messing with that and installing old firmware on that was more stable, and then having to reset up all of my router settings and reconnect every device in my house to my router, and it was a mess. So I had like 2 days straight of just nothing but annoying tech support.
What a fun week. Tech support in the slow lane, sounds like.
And then I got to take it all out on some freaking Titans, and then my headset died, and that didn't make it better.
I still can't believe that it actually just shuts down in your game. It doesn't hibernate.
It did warn me. To be fair, it did warn me. I could have gotten it charged. My hubris was too high. I thought I could do it.
Yeah, but no one, like, do people see the low battery sign? Well, like you didn't. Like, they don't see that and think, they like rip it off and run to the charger, like, plug it in right now. They're like, no, it'll be fine. It'll last a little bit longer. And if it doesn't, it'll like go to sleep. And then I can plug it in. It'll be fine.
Right. It was the first time that I had killed it all the way down, so maybe the battery wasn't like calibrated to how low it was allowed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I swear it was only like 5 minutes after the symbol came up, but later on my wife said that from the time I mentioned that it was low battery until it died was like 20 or 30 minutes. So maybe I just got too absorbed in my Titan killing to realize how long it had been.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I still think it should have hibernated, honestly, because then like what's the point? You're living your life in fear that any second that your device could shut off and you'll lose your progress, whatever you're doing.
If the low power indicator goes off.
Now I know if I ever get a Quest 2, if I see that, I need to plug it in like immediately, and because any moment after that I could get absorbed and then it could die.
Yeah, it is weird that like I spent a really long time specifically getting the strap that didn't have the backup battery in it, because I thought that I would only play it plugged into my computer, because that's all I've done in VR in the past. But I am enjoying using the native Quest stuff way more. It's not as good, right? There's no Skyrim, there's no Boneworks, there's all that stuff, but out of the stuff that is available on Quest, I want to play it all natively. Like, I don't want to play anything on my local computer anymore, because not having that wire is so good.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. I've been talking for a while. What else have you been doing?
Well, did you see the Nintendo Switch mini showcase partner direct, that is?
I did not watch the video, but I do have some interesting perspective on this, because for reasons I'll get to in a second, I opened up the eShop to purchase a game on the Switch, and I've never experienced all of the announcements of a Nintendo Direct via Nintendo's actual like featured store. I've always like seen the Direct or seen a news article or a YouTube video about it, and then I'll go looking for the items. But it was very bizarre. One thing in particular, which I'm sure you're going to talk to about, but I would love to give my perspective, having not seen the Direct and just seeing this thing pop up on the store. It was absolutely bizarre.
What is it?
Well, I went to go purchase a game for myself, and then I'm buying something for my wife's birthday. That was this week. And I open up the featured store, and lo and behold, Control Ultimate Edition Cloud version for free.
Yes.
It just says Control free, and I'm like, what have I missed? What is going on with Nintendo? And so I was like, I have to know what this is. Like, whatever I was going to buy, I'm going to download this first just to see what the heck is going on. Because I wanted to know, like, is this a subscription? Do you pay for this? Right? Like, they don't tell you any of that on the store page. It just says free.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I downloaded it. And I booted it up. It took like 5 minutes to load the first time for some reason.
I think it's like 89 megabytes.
Yeah.
The file download that you do. Yeah.
Super small download. And then I get in there, and it has 3 buttons. It says play, optimize for performance, play, optimize for quality, and Nintendo eShop. And then it has a big warning, and it's like, you got 10 minutes to play this game. I'm like, okay, I just want to know a price.
Speed run. You gotta beat the whole game in 10 minutes.
I was just sitting there going like, give me a price. I just want to know what the price of this thing is. And I clicked on Nintendo eShop, and no joke, a big fat error came up. It said, you must play for 5 minutes before going to the eShop.
That's
and I was like,
awesome.
I can't just know how much it costs. I have to play it for 5 minutes. So I booted it up, and I watched the opening cutscene, and I like walked around for 10 seconds, and then I was like, okay, I think it's been 5 minutes, and then I clicked on the eShop button and found out that it's $40 apparently. You just buy the game.
$40. Do you know if it's $60 on PC or something? Or is it always $40?
This Control Ultimate Edition with the DLC that just came out is like a collector's edition for $40.
Okay.
So
even on PC, it's $40 collector's edition, or
well, if you listen a little later on the podcast when we get to our deals, I will tell you about how it is actually less than $40 right now on the Epic Game Store for the Halloween sale.
But I want to know like full price. If I want it brand new on PC,
it's $40.
Okay, wow. So they're really charging full price for you not to own a game, but to be able to stream it. So I wanted to talk about this. This seems to be a thing people are doing now, where if they can't get their game running on Switch, they'll sell a cloud version. Did you see
so weird.
Hitman 3 is also coming to Switch?
I didn't see that. No.
As a cloud version. So, yeah, you can download these games as for free, as Daniel said, to test if your internet can do it. And I'm so happy that you got to try it because, you know, in my opinion, the Wi-Fi card on the Nintendo Switch is terrible. Like, I don't think it can actually use a 5 gigahertz channel from my testing here at my house from the speedruns I've done.
I don't remember. I think it connects to my 5 gigahertz. I don't know.
It connects to it, but I don't think it actually utilizes it because I'd like compare it, and it was like 1 megabyte download, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be getting like 800 with this, and then on my other connection, it would still be like 1 megabyte. Even using an Ethernet cable, it's bad. So I'm like, I really want to know if these actually run well streaming. But you said you just walked around. Like, did it feel like you were playing a native game?
Oh, so you haven't tried it?
No.
Okay, so it was definitely like as soon as it does the thing where it's like a long cutscene and then it like zooms in on your character and then the cutscene stops, but now you're just in gameplay. And I was like, okay, so click forward on the left stick. A split second later, she moves. There's like a noticeable delay.
Ooh.
It's like, I'm trying to think of like a comparable. I don't think I could give you like an amount of time. I mean, if anything, I would say I probably had like a 10th or a 5th of a second delay.
Yeah,
which isn't. It's not a ton.
I was gonna say like it sounds like not important to people who don't play games, but it's a massive difference. Remember in Overwatch when Bastion's animation got buffed by I think like 0.5 seconds. His transformation, that was the season where Bastion was in every single game. They just made his animation like half a second faster. Right. So like little times in games are a big deal, especially. But so did you do the optimize for streaming option though?
I did optimize for performance because I prefer higher frame rate over the quality. I don't need the fancy the ray tracing stuff. I gotta say the way it looked and ran, it was crazy to see it on a Switch.
Okay.
Because it doesn't look like a Switch game, right? It looks like something running on my PC, displaying on my Switch's screen, except when my Wi-Fi would slow down for whatever reason, there would be dropped frames, right? So it was definitely like, it was like watching a beautiful like YouTube video or Twitch stream with like a somewhat spotty connection. Because
interesting,
every so often it would skip and it was a little jarring, but it looked gorgeous. Like it worked. The thing that I came away with it is, oh my goodness, it works. That's crazy. And the second thing I came away from it was, wow, it takes a lot longer than I feel like it should to register my touches. And the third thing I came away with is, why do I keep looking at the ground? Oh yeah, Joy-Con drift. This sucks.
Joy-Con drift.
Because my right Joy-Con drifts towards the down all the time.
You need to send it in. They'll repair it for free.
I really do need to do that. But
I'm so glad they repair it for free.
All the games I play on Switch don't really use the right stick lately. Like Dead Cells or like honestly, if just like Yu-Gi-Oh, like if it's holding down on the right stick, it doesn't actually affect me that much. So I've just been playing it anyways and just been like mildly annoyed at the drift. But yeah, it made me realize that if I ever want to play like a 3D action game where I use the right stick for a camera, it's literally going to be impossible for me to play on my Switch because it just
sounds pretty nasty.
Drifts down all the time.
Yeah. So
cool. Tell me more about this Direct, because that's the big thing I got out of it.
I'm still hung up on the cloud games. Like I can't imagine buying a game that you can't play, because the thing about the Switch is that it's portable. So you literally can't play these games outside of the house without like a phone tether connection. And that would probably be awful. Maybe not with the new 5G phones that are coming out if you're actually in a 5G spot. But even, there's too many connections going around. So I feel like the best way to play these games is with a wired connection, like at home. Like that's kind of their goal, is playing it like on a big screen, like an actual console game. But you didn't try that with the Ethernet cable?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, I don't even have the Ethernet adapter for Switch, because remember, you can't just plug Ethernet into the dock. They didn't build it in. You have to buy a USB adapter, which is silly if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I never bought the adapter.
And I think it's Ethernet to USB 3. But USB 3 has pretty good speeds, right? So that's not a big deal.
Yeah, USB 3 has great speeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should ask for that adapter for like a Christmas present or something. That would be fun to have for Smash Bros. And the like.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm probably not going to try Control the demo, but when Hitman 3 comes out, I'll probably download that to do the network test on it, because I know we have really good internet here, but I'm like, on a Switch, it just doesn't make sense to me on a console where you won't be able to play it half of the time, or even if you are home and it's portable, that I don't trust the connection on the Switch to work well enough.
That might be true. To me, I think that those issues are ones that you and I have ways around, and for someone who doesn't, if they just have a Switch, then this is a way for them to play Control or Hitman that they wouldn't have had otherwise, and I don't think they're going to care about the delay, and I don't think they're going to care about the requirement for internet, because think about this, think about how popular like Fortnite is on Switch, think about how popular these games that require internet connections are, like Overwatch is on Switch, right? There is definitely a segment of people that do always have an internet connection when they want to play a game, and they play it on their Switch. That's just what they do, right? So I think it makes sense to me that it exists. I don't think it makes sense to me for me to purchase it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think I could ever. I just want to download it to try it. I would never buy the ability to stream a game on my Switch. Like, what? It could have been at least some service where it's like you buy it, using our great streaming service, and then you can play it on your PC. You can play it on other consoles. That'll never happen, by the way. But like buying something only to be streamed on Nintendo Switch, that is not why I have a Switch. I have a Switch because I can go, wow, it's switched to a device. I'm out of here. I'm out of the house. I'm at a friend's house where I'm on their crappy guest Wi-Fi. Like, oh my goodness. It's blowing my mind that this is like becoming a thing of cloud games. And I'm hoping that developers, like big AAA developers, won't start to get a little lazy with it, where it's like, oh yeah, we could have spent a long time optimizing The Witcher 3 for the Switch, or we could have just thrown it on this cloud service and sold it to them as a cloud service game.
I don't know if you can call The Witcher 3 on Switch optimized in any way.
But they had to spend a lot of time on it to get it working.
I know. But also, have you seen that?
I haven't. I thought it was. I thought I heard it was fine. Is it not fine?
I think it runs fine, but it looks horrible compared to like the other versions. Like the textures. Like, I'm gonna see if I can find a screenshot in order to send it over to you. But anyway, the point is that yes, there's a big difference between like playing it natively on Switch and doing the work to make that happen versus just like, oh, I can just throw it in the cloud and now it runs, right?
Yeah. Also announced during that presentation was a demo for Age of Calamity, the upcoming Zelda.
Oh, that's cool.
What's the original game called?
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, upcoming that. I have not played it yet. I downloaded the demo. I'm excited. Hoping I get that for like Christmas or something. I've actually made an impulse purchase.
Oh,
because of the direct.
Impatient player purchase?
Yes. So there is, and I texted you and Keaton about it already, because I saw this and I was like, this looks wonderful. It's a small little indie game called Part-Time UFO, where you just control a little UFO on a 2D plane, and you're just like stacking stuff for missions. Like a farmer's like, oh no, my tomatoes have fallen out of my truck. So you got to pick up the tomatoes with like a claw from like a claw machine, and you bring it over and you drop it on the truck. And like, that's the whole game. So originally it's actually available. It's been available, I think, for maybe a few years. or maybe just a year or so, on mobile devices for $3. Like the entire game, no in-app purchases. It's just the full game for like $3 on phone.
Okay.
So it got popular enough on there that they put it on Switch. And I said, if this game is less than $10, I am immediately buying it. And it is only $8 on Switch. And I bought that sucker up. And I have been absolutely loving playing Part-Time UFO. And it's multiplayer with the two Joy-Cons. So I brought it over to my girlfriend's house, and we had a blast playing it the other night.
That sounds awesome.
So I can't recommend Part-Time UFO enough, just as a very fun little relaxing Switch game. That cliche game where you can pop off a Joy-Con and be like, hey, let's do this level together. You know, the levels take like a few minutes at most.
It sounds a lot like Snipper Clips, honestly.
I was going to compare it to like Scribblenauts, maybe.
Okay.
Like the original Scribblenauts, where it's like, Larry needs a steak, but oh no, he lost his utensil, and then you just type in large fork, and then like you give it to him. It's like you win. It's like that. It's like itty bitty little levels that are very bite size.
Excuse me. The original Scribblenauts did not have adjectives, Jordan. You couldn't have said large fork. You could have.
Did it really
fork.
Not?
That was the big thing about the sequels. They added the adjectives.
Wow.
The original Scribblenauts was just nouns. You just said, I want to make a gun, and then I want to make a zombie, and then I can shoot the zombie, and that's Scribblenauts.
That's crazy. Was that on DS?
Yes, sir.
Whoa, that's weird.
Sorry,
that's weird.
I just had to be that guy for a second, just for fun.
No, thank you. That's a very important fact.
So you did text me about that game, and I saw it on the featured, and I was like, oh, I'm sure Jordan will tell me about this game if it's good. But I looked at the description, and I saw that it had co-op, and it was only like $8. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be spending a lot of quality time with some family members on a plane here in the near future. I think it might be fun to have a little co-op,
beautiful plane
UFO
game.
Adventure.
Oh my goodness! Makes me want to go buy a plane ticket so I could play it on the plane too.
I have too much to play on this plane though. I have.
Well, you can't play Control Ultimate Edition, Daniel, because there's no Wi-Fi on a plane.
Also, because I didn't pay $40 for it.
That's that too.
But besides all the normal Switch stuff like Dead Cells and Smash Bros and all the stuff that I could play, I picked up Hades for myself because the zeitgeist around that game has grown to a fevered pitch of like, oh my goodness, this game is so good, you have to play it. And I was like, I will definitely check out Hades. And it's one of my wife's favorite games. She's been playing it ever since it first came out in early access because the developer, Supergiant Games, they made Bastion and Transistor and Pyre, and she loves those games. So I have been waiting for Hades to full release. It did, and it came out on Switch. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I bought it. I was debating whether to buy it here, or I was actually almost going to buy it on the Epic Game Store with the coupon, because it's normally $25. With the Halloween sale, it's $20 right now. I found out it's also on sale on the Switch. It's $20 on the Switch right now if you want to get it.
Down from 30, you said?
From 25.
From 25.
So it's 20% off on the Switch and on Epic Games right now. But the Epic Games had recently that coupon you could have gotten with Rocket League. And I was thinking about getting on PC, but I was like, I really want to play it on this trip I'm going on. Should I get it on Switch? Well, I found out that it does not have cross-save yet, but it was supposed to, and they're working on it.
Yet. Okay, that's exciting to know.
Yeah, they announced shortly before it came out on Switch, they were like, hey, we are still bringing it to Switch. We wanted it to have crossplay, but it's honestly not working for us, so we need to delay that feature. But it will at some point. And people I saw on Twitter were like, hey, if I start playing on Switch, will I be able to overwrite my save with my PC save or whatever? And they were saying, like, we want that all to work, and we know that situation is out there. So they're aware of it. They're trying to get it to work. But right now, they're separate saves. But in the future, you'll be able to go back and forth, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, kudos to them for still sticking with it and not just either not like delaying the whole game for that one feature or just scrapping the feature altogether.
Yeah. So that's actually making me want to get it on Epic, and we'll talk about the deals for the Halloween sale at that part of the podcast. But honestly, at this point, I am between buying Hades, buying Control on Epic Games, because that's also on sale. And so with the coupon, I think you can actually get Control Ultimate Edition for under $20 if you have the coupon, because it's originally $40 down to $28 on sale. So you can get it for $18 with the coupon. Or Star Wars Squadrons, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I'm still considering that one. So
that's the one I'm hoping for. I'm still crossing my fingers for that one.
for me to get that one, you're saying?
Yeah.
So, I bought Hades for myself, and I actually got it for my wife because I wasn't originally, because she already owned it on PC and she's gotten really far with it. She's unlocked a lot of stuff. But
was that the birthday present you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Nice.
I didn't say this when I bought her I bought her another birthday present like a month or two ago, but I didn't mention it because she listens to the podcast. But she also has the Ori Collector's Edition we talked about on the podcast coming her way in December. So that's like both games on Switch, the beautiful art book, all that stuff. So that those two games were her amazing.
That's awesome.
Present.
I think you'd already told me that you were planning on getting it for her when you were talking about it on the podcast. So
yes,
it was funny to have you be like, "Oh, Marion thinks it's so cool," and we're both like, "She doesn't know."
I literally like got up from watching the direct with her, went upstairs and bought it.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that is going to be a beautiful pack.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to interrupt you on what you were talking about with my Switch games that I purchased, but what else are you?
Oh yeah, basically get part-time UFO. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I've finished my adventure in the frozen crown tundra
crown tundra
crown tundra in
Pokemon Iceborne.
I finished Pokemon Iceborne. It's really good. From what I've read online, other people are all saying that it's really good. Like, the reception for this DLC pack has been very positive, I think, compared to the first one. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it, honestly.
So is it just these legendary raids? Is that like what you do?
Yeah, I think so. Minus the story missions that you do, and they added Pokemon, which is part of the free update.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of the main feature. But I think what's crazy is that in like the Dynamax Adventures things, the shiny rate with the shiny charm is 1 in 100.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And you catch 5 through one playthrough of it, so that's 5 chances out of 100 for one of those 5 to be a shiny Pokemon.
But can't you only catch them once?
What do you mean?
I thought you could only catch each legendary once.
Yes, yeah, but it applies. You catch 4 other just normal regular Pokemon, because the way that it works is that you have like a series of paths that lead to the final boss, and each path shows the type of what you'll encounter along that path. And so as you can like plan out your route, it's like by the end I need to have a type to counteract this type, and so you like plan your route, and then along the way as you beat them, it'll let you choose to capture that one and then use it as your.
I don't think I realized that. I don't think I realized that you could bring in the ones that you were capturing as you go.
Yeah, so you actually can't bring in any of yours to begin with. You start off with a rental Pokemon, and then you swap it out for other ones you catch along the way.
Don't make me want this.
Yeah, I when they showed like the map, and I'm like planning my route with the types, and I was like, Daniel would love this. He would totally go like way overboard and be like, "Oh, we got to go over here," and you'd be like, studying the types. Me hope. And they like plan the types to where you can get 2 that like combine really well. Like this one has like the super grass move, and if you happen to find another one with this super water move, you can combine them. And multi hits work. There's no more shields on the Dynamax Pokemons anymore.
Wait, what?
There's
no more shields?
Yeah. So you don't have to like just chip away at it. It's just their health bar, and it's just like a normal fight where you just
do this, Jordan. No, yeah. I don't need to buy more Nintendo stuff.
Well, Christmas is coming up, so maybe that's an opportunity.
True. That's true.
But yeah, it is fun, and I think that's why people are liking it a lot.
Did they get rid of the shields of the regular ones too, or just these special ones?
I think just the special ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Because on this one, there's no like healing between rounds from beginning to end, unless you swap out for a new one. Like your move set, what is the number of times you can use a move called?
Oh, the PP, the power points.
Power points. Yes, the power points don't like refresh.
The patient player points.
The patient player points. So like if you use them all up, you should be like, you can be like, oh, I need to like swap out just because I can't use this move anymore anyways, and that was like the best move anyways, but I still need to keep like type advantages in mind. It's very strategic and very fun, and also you get a guaranteed legendary catch at the end, just one time per game.
Well, so if you fight the legendary and don't catch them, Does that? Can you fight them again if you're trying to farm for a shiny?
Yeah, you can fight them again. Yep. I think what people have been doing is, they'll go through, they'll fight it, they'll catch it, and if it's not shiny, they'll just reset, and then they'll do it again. You don't have to reset, but I think I heard something about maybe resetting makes it go faster
instead of just not catching it. Can you just choose not to catch it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but apparently resetting is faster somehow. But yeah, people are getting like all these shiny legendaries from just doing this over and over again.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's crazy. That's like a viable thing to do.
Yeah, man. Now you're making me want it.
It was fun, and yeah, it was fun. They added in, this game is just full legendaries, which I guess they always do that. They always do all the past ones. So I guess at this point there should be a bajillion of them, but there are so many. They even added in a mythical one that you can just catch, like
sweet.
If you do like a whole hidden side mission, you can just fight one and catch it for the first time ever.
Here's a question. Do you think it was always that way, or do you think they planned to make it event based, and then everyone got locked in their homes for a year, and they realized they couldn't have any events to give away the Pokemon?
No, I think it's always been that way, because this is Keldeo, who came out. When did Keldeo come out? So Black and White 2.
Yeah.
This is the Black and White 2 mythical. Like, you just have to do the mission, and then it appears in the overworld, and you can walk up to it and fight it and catch it with whatever ball you want, which is the first time that's been possible.
Sweet.
Which I've been loving, by the way, having those guaranteed legendary catch rates. Everyone in the Premier Ball. I love it.
They all get that shiny ball.
Yes. Oh my word, it's so nice.
Okay. You know what? Honestly, as we've been talking about this more, I was like, you know what? It wouldn't be terrible to go back to Pokemon, which I always have done Pokemon in waves. Like, I've always played it a ton for a while and then played it a ton. I probably won't buy the DLC right away because I have just spent a bunch of money on Hades for me, Hades for my wife.
Right.
I was about to drop.
Sounds like Hades is going to keep you busy for a long time.
I was about to drop $30 on the DLC pack for Smash Bros. Because I wanted Steve, and I was like,
Steve!
30. I'm not really playing Smash Bros. That much right now, and 30 is kind of a steep price. Like, I'm talking about buying all of Control for like $20, and I just bought Hades for $20, and like 30 is a lot to pay for 6 characters for a game I don't play that much anymore. But
I will buy them one for one, can you? You have to buy them as a pack, right?
You can buy them one at a time. It's $6 per character, and there's 6 characters, so you do save $6 if you buy all of them at once. And like, I know I'm going to at some point because I love Smash Bros. And I want to have the whole roster, but for now, I'm like, I don't know if I want it that bad yet, so I'm waiting on that. That makes sense. I also spent $2 on a game that was just randomly on the top sellers list for $2, down from 10 whenever I was buying Hades, called Bloodroot. Have you seen this?
I don't think so.
It's really weird. I'll mention it briefly. It's like it's kind of like the game Hotline Miami, where you're like dropped into a level where you have a bunch of enemies to kill and like super fast paced action, right? Like, grab this gun, shoot this guy, hit this guy, kill this guy. Okay, now you're done with the level. But if you mess up at any point, you just instantly die and have to restart the level.
Oh no.
It's got like a really wacky animation, and I don't know how else to describe it. Just look up Bloodroot. I don't know if it's still on sale. I think the sale ends like the day after we're recording, so it's probably too late on the recorded podcast. But I picked that up and I thought it was fun for $2, and I'll spend some more time with it. But yeah, so I bought I bought 2 games for myself. I bought Marion a game, and I was like, I was about to buy the DLC for Smash Bros, and I was like, I'm not going to spend that much. I want Pikmin 3. That's a full price game that just came out.
I forgot that came out.
Yeah.
I also want Pikmin 3 because I've never played a Pikmin game before.
I think that would be a fun plane game as well. But at this point, I've got so many games to play on the plane that and my plane's not that long.
So Christmas is shaping up to look like a nice, tasty Christmas, though.
So much for patient playing. We're just purchasing all of these Nintendo games. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Did you have anything else that we need to talk about, or shall we move on to our deals before this podcast gets crazy long?
Yeah, before we move on to deals, just real quick. Jackbox Party Pack 7 came out, and it is very good. The last one
Go ahead.
Was a little disappointing, in my opinion. I don't know. Did you play the 6th one?
I might have played it once at someone's house, but I don't think I did.
I thought it was a little disappointing. The 7th one, I think, is very good. You got Quiplash 3. You have a game that's like kind of inspired by Among Us, in my opinion, where it's task-based. But like with a over, it's not like a social like deduction game, but it's just doing tasks and helping each other with tasks. Just fun little mini games. And there's a very fun word one. So that game is great, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah. And then,
cool.
Yep, that's all I got.
Okay. You're not the first person that I've heard that say Jackbox 7 is like one of the better ones that they've done, which is good to hear. Because lately, yeah, it's always been like 2 or 3 games you want to play, and the rest are kind of junky. But it's always like, Drawful and Quiplash are so fun and novel.
Yep.
And like TKO was so great. And I feel like it's been a while that the last one I really loved was Patently Stupid. I thought that one was just perfect.
Dude, I have some. Oh my word, they made like a better Patently Stupid, in my opinion.
Is it the TED Talk one?
Yes, it is. I absolutely love that one. I'm not good at it, and I have a lot of friends that are not good at it, but it's still so much fun. Just to sum it up real quick, you're giving a speech on a topic that's assigned to you. You get one of 3 to choose from, and then someone else is choosing your slides, your pictures, and your text that goes with the slides. So as you're giving a speech over your topic, your buddy's like, "Oh, here's a picture of a dog. Let me throw that up on screen real quick." And the person giving the topic is like, and this dog, can help you with so and so. It's really good. I love it a lot.
I love improv, and that sounds amazing. And I'm also not bad at improv, so I bet I would love that game.
It's very good.
Cool.
So let's talk about some deals.
Let's talk about some deals. There is a bunch to talk about. We have some of the new monthly deals because this is our first November episode. At the time that we are recording, we know a couple things. The monthly games for Xbox, games for gold, if you have Xbox Live, you're going to be no longer able to get Costume Quest, but you can still get Maid of Skier for another 2 weeks. And then some of the November games. For the older games, they have the Xbox 360 or original Xbox games. You can get Full Spectrum Warrior for the original Xbox or Lego Indiana Jones for Xbox 360. More importantly, for the Xbox One games, there's a game for the whole month of November called Swim Sanity. The way I described it when I was talking to Jordan about it earlier is it looks like a 2D action game like Castle Crashers, but you have guns and it's underwater. So that looked cool. And then guess what is available for the next 2 weeks on Xbox One with Xbox Live Gold?
I have no idea.
They're giving out Origami until the 15th.
Oh, cool.
Which is I don't know if to call it indie or not. I think it's indie.
I think it's indie.
But it's like a stealth action game, but it also has multiplayer. And me and Jordan played it together on Steam years ago. And it's just fun. You're like a shadow ninja. You get like shadow abilities to teleport and go invisible and stuff like that. And it's super cel shaded. It looks really cool. It doesn't play the smoothest, but it plays decently enough for a stealth game. And I had a lot of fun with it. Apparently the one they're giving away is like a special edition that's bundled with a prequel game for Origami, which I don't know what that would be like at all, but the main game was fun enough. I think that's worth playing.
Interesting.
I had a good time. So that's what you can get for Xbox. For PlayStation players, if you have PS Plus, well, PS5 is launching in like a couple weeks, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
So PS5 will be out, and they are giving away a PS5 game. If you have PlayStation Plus, you will be able to get Bug Snacks for free. And this is more than just the month of November. I think they're doing this all the way until January. But just for PS5, because that game also exists on PS4, but you cannot get it for free on PS4, only if you have PS5 and PlayStation Plus. For PS4 players, though, you do still get your 2 games for the month. Really good ones, in my opinion, this month. You get Hollow Knight, the special edition of Hollow Knight.
Ooh, wow.
And you get Middle-earth Shadow of War.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is really good. I love the Middle-earth games.
Yeah.
I got every achievement that was possible in both of those games. I really like Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings games. So some pretty good ones on PS4. And I know a lot of stuff is backwards compatible between PS4 and PS5. So I don't know if those in particular are. But if they are, that's a really good deal. They also announced this thing. Can you tell me more about this PS Plus collection thing, Jordan?
Yeah, so the way I understand it is to help the launch of the PS5 just have more content. I believe if you are a paying PS Plus subscriber, they're just giving you access to a big old bundle of very, very good PS4 games to play on your new fancy PS5. I don't know if that means they've been optimized for it, or if it's literally just here's access to them on your PS5.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, they are some good old games that are just thrown in there with your PS Plus bundle. So if you're getting a PS5,
there's a lot of them too.
Yeah, if you're getting your Bug Snacks and PS5, you're also getting a bunch of these games that I don't have the list in front of me. Do you know what kind of games you're getting in that?
Yeah, I still have them up here. So I'm not gonna read the whole list because there's got to be like 20 games in here, but like some heavy hitters. We're talking about like The Last of Us. We're talking about Infamous Second Son. We're talking about Days Gone, Uncharted 4, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, Monster Hunter World, God of War, Bloodborne. Like they're actually the greatest hits, right? Like, you know how they have the logo with like the box that's red and everything, the PlayStation greatest hits. It's like all of those. Ratchet and Clank, the remake, is on here. Like some of the best games ever for PS4 you just get if you're subscribed to PS5. Honestly, the way I described it earlier was I think it feels a lot like their answer to Game Pass. It's basically like, hey, if you're subscribed to our service, here's just an open library of all of these awesome games to play that will keep you playing for a long time. Any one of those games you could play for a dozen hours at least, I think.
Yeah. Makes me wish I wanted a PS5.
Yeah.
Honestly, I am so happy that I am content in my perfect little video game world of PC and Switch right here. Like, honestly, there's no room for anything else. That is both halves of the heart, is my PC and my Switch. But again, if they do start making PS5 games available to stream on PS Live or whatever it's called, I will probably look into trying that out at some point so that I can get access to all these great PlayStation games.
Here's the thing, though. If you're streaming it and there's that delay, imagine how hard it would be to play Bloodborne with like an input lag. Oh, that would stink.
I have pretty good connection, so I don't think that would be a problem.
True.
But I would try it first before paying.
So that is what you get for PlayStation and Xbox if you do their normal subscriptions. I do want to call out on Game Pass for PC. We like to talk about those. I still think that service is a super good deal. But they added a bunch, actually, in the last week. This game, I saw, it got announced on the Switch Direct, because I saw it on the Switch store, newly released. It's also on Epic Games and on Game Pass for PC. It's a game called Carto. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't.
It's like there's a little girl with a map with like tiles that you can place down, and then it's like a 2D top-down exploration game, like an older Zelda game kind of thing. But the map that you're exploring is made up of these tiles, and one of the game mechanics is you manipulate the tiles of the world on your map, and it actually changes the landscape of the world. And you use that to explore and solve puzzles and stuff like that. So,
interesting.
Brand new game, available on Game Pass for PC right now. Listen to this. They also added in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 4 bundle on Game Pass for PC.
Okay.
All 4 of those. And they've added 3 of the old point and click adventure games from what's the company here?
Double Fine?
Yeah, I think Double Fine. You got Day of the Tentacle, you've got Full Throttle Remastered, and Grim Fandango Remastered.
Yeah, because they're a Microsoft company now, aren't they?
Yeah,
a Microsoft developer.
Yeah. So all 3 of those remastered point and click adventure games all on Game Pass for PC, and that's just this week. On top of everything we've been talking about for months that they keep adding to this service.
Cool. Wow. And then next week, we got the Humble Bundle coming out.
Yes.
We don't know what that is yet.
The November one. Yeah, this will be your last chance to pick up like Iron Danger and some of the ones we've been mentioning throughout this last month on the Humble Bundle for October. And there are the Halloween sales. So if you're hearing this on the day this came out, you might have just barely missed the Steam Halloween sale. It ends middle of the day on Monday when this podcast comes out. So if you're hearing this live, you can still go check that out. But otherwise, the Epic Games Halloween sale is still going. The 4 that I'm looking at, right, like I said, Dead Cells is only $15, Control is $28, Hades is $20, and Star Wars Squadron is $10 off down to $30. Mortal Shell, you heard me gush about that game earlier this year. It's one of my favorite games I've played this year. That's 20% off with their new update. And then Rocket League is still free. If you still have that coupon from downloading Rocket League for free when they were offering that, that's $10 off a lot of these games, anything that's over $14.99. So everything I just mentioned, knock $10 off that price if you still have the coupon. Really, really good deals out there on Epic Games. I will certainly be buying at least one of those before the coupon expires, which I think it actually happens the day before this podcast goes out. So if you're listening to this live, go take advantage of that. But even if you didn't get the coupon and you're listening to this as the podcast comes out, you can still pick up any of these things by Wednesday the 4th. So check out the Halloween sale.
Spooky.
Any other deals?
No. I was going to mention the Star Wars sale, but if you're listening to this not live, you missed it. You missed it.
No.
Nice reference. Yeah. But like every game on Steam was like crazy discounted for Star Wars, at least. Not every game on Steam.
One of these days I'm going to buy The Force Unleashed and The Force Unleashed 2 for PC because I really liked those games.
Beautiful games.
I have them on PS3. Cool.
Love them.
That will bring us...
Give me Infamous on PC. Tony.
That'd be so good.
Remastered.
Anyways, this brings us to the best part of the podcast where we take your questions and we answer them for you in the question and answer section. And this is going to come from a number of places. Primarily, you can email us at patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com, or you can ask us questions in the community Discord at patientplayers.com/Discord. And if you are lucky enough to be able to join in on our weekend live recording of the podcast, you can ask us questions in chat. We got a couple questions to go through with you today. So will you take us away with the first email, Jordan?
Yes, sir, Mr. Daniel Podcast. The first email says, Happy Monday, patient players, because today is Monday, definitely. I'm going to ask my questions out of order this week and ask the random one first. I've played a game this week that reminds me of a claw machine because I have to pick up items with the claw, move them around, and drop them in a certain spot. That sounds a lot like a game. What is that? Something UFO. Part-time UFO, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys good at claw machines in real life? And the second question is, what game would you find more interesting if there were natural disasters? And how would it affect the game? For example, what would the repercussions be if it flooded an Animal Crossing? From regular writer of the podcast, Miranda.
Huh.
That's a cool question.
Those are both great questions. Okay.
Have you ever won a claw machine?
I have won a claw machine. I actually grew up where my mom was apparently legendarily good at claw machines. I always got told, like, oh man, just let, my dad would say, like, oh, there's a claw machines, like, let your mother try it and she'll tell you if it's good or not. Because claw machines are either like reasonable or they're rigged, right? Because it's like too weak to actually grab anything. My mom can tell with one play if it's good enough to actually get anything. And she can usually get within 2 tries whatever she's trying to get if it's good. And it's crazy. She's like super good at these claw machines. So I grew up where, like, if I wanted something in a claw machine, I'd be like, Mom, can you get me this thing in the claw machine? And
nice.
Like, it's funny if you're watching the video archive or the live stream, my Halloween costume is Pokemon related. So I have some of my Pokemon mounted up on my wall behind me.
Mounted like trophies.
The one that I did not put up there is actually, I have a Charmander that I won from a claw machine at a Pizza Hut when I was in like elementary school from my mom. Yeah.
Pizza Hut?
Yeah, Pizza Hut had a claw machine that my mom won me a Charmander out of.
Whoa.
Years ago. So I feel like I've inherited some of that skill. I have a lot of spatial awareness. I'm pretty good at claw machines, but some of them are just busted.
Yeah. I've won one, like me personally, and it was like a bucket list moment. Like, I've done it. I've gone to the next level of humanity.
You've clawed the machine.
It was in Egypt, in Africa, so maybe they have fair claw machines over there. I don't know, but it was a normal claw machine. It went over, it got the thing, picked it up, held onto it, and it was like a stuffed animal. I don't remember what it was. I'm just more happy about the fact that I actually won something in a claw machine.
I won a claw machine on me and Marion's like third date or something on a Dave and Buster's. She went into the bathroom.
Way to impress the lady.
She went into the bathroom, and when she came out, I had won her like a little stuffed animal, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
Oh, what a!
And now we're married.
And you say you're not a player. That is a player move right there. Dang.
Unfortunately, she didn't get to watch me do it, but she just came out, and I was like, "Yo, I won you this."
And then in 20 years, you'll tell her that actually you had a friend just run over and do it real quick for you, and you're like, "Thank you." Go on.
It was my mom.
It was. Oh, that is so perfect. She was hiding the whole time, waiting for Marion to use the bathroom. Oh my goodness.
All right, what about this natural disasters question? This question sounds amazing.
Wow. I like the example. What if it flooded in Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
How
would a natural disaster affect
my
a game?
poor island.
I feel like you got to take some like really precise game, like a precise platformer, and if you threw like a hurricane in there, that would like
no.
What if Mario had just like a hurricane where you're just getting blown around as you're trying to jump around? That would be horrible.
There's been like little baby hurricanes as enemies in Mario.
Like tornadoes?
Yeah, like tornadoes. Yeah. But goodness, I honestly have no idea. I'm still like caught up on the Animal Crossing example. And like at first I was like, "Oh, I'd be sad." And then I was like, "No, that'd be cool having like an underwater island because you have like scuba deer."
Right.
Like, oh, that'd be so cool to like swim around your island. One of my favorite parts in all of Mario Sunshine was when the hub area overflows.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was, as a kid, that was the coolest thing ever. It's like, whoa, the hub that I'm used to playing this whole time is now, there's water everywhere, and I can't go all the places I used to go.
That's awesome. I actually saw a YouTube video before they added diving to Animal Crossing that was like, can you flood your island? And it was just the dude using terraforming to make...
I've seen
literally like 99% of his island is just water, and like his villagers are all like trapped in the town square. Like, it was a very weird video, but it made me think of this when flooding in Animal Crossing was brought up.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of like Heroes of the Storm because I play that game a lot, and then I remembered they did that.
They did, yeah.
Like a few months ago, they did the weather anomaly, and that like didn't go over well because it was super confusing and like it was very strange.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize a lot of games have natural disasters in them.
Yeah,
as a thing. I was gonna say like StarCraft 2. I was trying to think of a game where it'd be really bad, but I'm like, no, some of the levels are literally built around natural disasters being a thing. So I'm like, oh well, maybe not.
Yeah, huh?
Someone in chat mentioned a tornado in Rocket League.
Oh boy,
you're just going for the goal and then it just whoop there. Nope, there it goes.
I'm trying to think of
sports
something...
games would be bad. Imagine you're playing soccer, and then all of a sudden there's a meteorite shower just raining down terror on the field, squashing players
just gets,
left
like,
and right,
hit in the head. Oh gosh, that would be terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, what a question. Thank you, regular writer of the podcast, Miranda. All right, this is going to take us to an email here. It looks like hold on a second. This is a virus email brought in by a hacker. It says, boo!
Oh, you scared me.
Terrifying. It says, did I scare you?
Yes.
Well, if I didn't, then maybe it would scare you to know that this is a double-hacked email.
Wait, what?
That's right. It is I, friend Keaton. I've hacked into your email and then used your email to hack back into your email. As the email is being written on the spooky day, I will give you a spooky question. What's your favorite spooky moment from a video game? It could have been intentionally or unintentionally spooky. Love and kisses and blood. Friend Keaton.
Wait, so he hacked his own email?
I think so. I think this email was probably originally about something much nicer, but then it got hacked to be spooky.
Oh, I see.
All right. Now, live chat. Thank you for your questions. We got to do the email questions first. Come on, guys.
I don't.
That's how this works.
No, they're being prepared. I'm transferring them over to the Discord channel where people can give us their questions at patientplayers.com/Discord.
That's true.
I don't play spooky games. I don't like spooky games. Favorite spooky moment. I probably have one. Do I remember what it was? Heck no.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like there's two that I can think of. Both of them involve VR because VR is like inherently spooky sometimes when you're just like, it's like shocking to have something feel like it's in real life right next to you. I described it on the podcast when I played Boneworks, but there was definitely a moment in Boneworks where like a bunch of weird stuff has just happened, and then you end up in like a creepy room and you're just by yourself and it's terrifying, and then there's like a doorway and like a black dimension with just a chair there, and a bunch of creepy stuff has just happened. And I remember getting to that part into the game and being like, Marion, please come into the room. Like, I need you. I need someone else here. I'm too scared. I was literally like, my body was having like the fight or flight response to what was going on, even though nothing scary, nothing jumped out at me. It was just scary. It was so scary that like, I knew that if I pushed forward the stick, my character would walk forward, but like I couldn't make myself do it for a few seconds. Alternatively, last week when I first played that Titan game, and did I describe what happened when I first booted up that game? And how I accidentally fired off the flare that summoned the Titans before I left the main menu. Yeah. So I was legitimately screaming. Like it was horrifying to have this giant Titan man walk up and just grab me, and I couldn't move. I was paralyzed because the main menu was open, and so I just got grabbed and just like pulled up and eaten.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was scary. Those are two moments that I can like remember my heart palpitating. I was just like, this is horrifying.
I can't think of anything like that. I something did come to mind where it's like when it happened, I legit just got like a wave of chills sent down where I'm like, this isn't a big deal, but and it was actually Stanley Parable.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. I've talked about that game a lot. It's one of my favorite games. One of the best parts about it is there are low chances of things happening throughout the game. One of which, so if you play Stanley Parable, you are the only character that you ever see. You don't see any other person except in like on a cutscene at one of the endings. But at the very beginning of the game, there is a very, very low chance that when you, I'm getting chills talking about it. When you walk past the first window, you'll see someone on the other side of the window just like barely go out of view at the very last second. And so if you're not looking for it, you could walk by and not see it. But I knew that there was a possibility, so every time I would like nervously glance around the corner to see if he would be there, just knowing that there might be someone walking around in this creepy land.
That's scary.
That gave me chills. I don't know why.
That is creepy. Jeez. I feel like I had one more that I was going to mention, but I might have just lost it. Without spoiling anything, the game Inside is crazy scary at some point. That game is very strange. Did you play Inside?
I did. It was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember what.
I mean, just a lot of that game is just scary.
That's a great game.
It's a very good game. The ones from that same developer, Limbo, is also
the
a very
water
good
part.
Game. There was a couple parts.
Oh, okay.
There was a couple parts that were very scary.
Okay.
The game before that, Limbo, is very good, but I tried showing that game to my sister-in-law, and I did not realize, I didn't forget, I never knew this. My wife forgot that her sister is deathly afraid of spiders.
I knew you were going to say that. As soon as you started talking about this, I knew you were going to say something about spiders.
Limbo has a very prominent, very large and terrifying spider very early on in the game, and she got to that part and literally noped out. Like, she was just like, she put down the controller, it's like, I'm not, nope. There's a 0% chance I'm going to continue playing.
Wow. Yeah, and if you lose, it skewers you on its spider leg.
It really murders you. It's scary.
And then you use its body later as a ledge to climb up onto something. It like squishing noises. Oh,
yeah, that was a big mistake. She never trusts us to play any game ever anymore, unless it's like very clearly like Mario, you know?
Mario, the Spider Kingdom Adventures.
Alrighty, well, that will do it for our emails. This is going to bring us to the live chat question. Thank you, chat, for being so patient about this. Question from chat, still on VR. Different note here, though. What was your barfiest VR experience? That is quite an interesting question. Do you have one?
I'm Daniel, and I have VR legs, so nothing makes me barf. Actually, no. Fun fact. Earlier in this podcast, you were saying that when your laptop was laggy, you said that you hated your Google Earth experience.
Yes, I gotta say, anytime the headset is starting to lag, like instant headache, instant feeling of nausea. That was kind of cheating though, because there were certainly like moments of nausea not tied to lag.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one? I could come up with one.
I think interested. Mine is Subnautica. I do not do well in VR. It's not because of I didn't even make it to like the drop off area. I don't know. I get scared enough looking at the drop off on a screen. But just like going around the nice peaceful reef area, that game, most VR games give you an option to move in increments, and that helps you just kind of stabilize what's going on. This game, it's free movement, and it's you're underwater, so you can move like in all directions. I had been really excited to play that game in VR for a long time because it's about underwater exploration, which is like so cool. Mm-hmm. But I felt so sick after just like 15 minutes and like dizzy, and I was like, I want to keep playing this, but I feel so awful right now.
I agree 100%. I forgot about how bad Subnautica was until you said that. That is instantly my first pick, is that like,
oh wow,
the smooth turning. I that is the one VR comfort feature I have to have turned on, is the incremental rotation. Like smooth turning in a VR game. Like I'm feeling a little bit sick just thinking and remembering about Subnautica. Like it's
hilarious.
That vomit inducing is like if I have gotten perfectly fine at moving a character, like using the left stick to move your character around without physically moving. My brain and body don't mind that at all. But as soon as my view starts to rotate when my head is not rotating, I just feel sick talking about it. It's like instantly nauseous in my stomach.
Yeah.
And Subnautica was the first time I experienced that, because you're in water, right? So you're like you're not even walking, you're like floating around, and I like turn and it's like, oh gosh.
It was for that reason that I was really worried about not being able to play Squadrons. But I think having the cockpit in view in something that your brain can lock in as just being a static object, I think that helps a lot.
I remember hearing that even before VR was consumer ready, when the dev kit first came out, people were saying that cockpit games were one of the easiest games to start off with, because your brain is used to things moving while the cockpit stays the same. Like you're used to driving, you're used to flying, and so that makes sense to your brain. Since you brought up Subnautica, I honestly had blocked out that Subnautica probably has one of the most terrifying video game moments I've ever experienced.
Oh, yeah.
Two, in fact. I was showing off VR to some friends one time, and I showed them Subnautica as an example. And I was like, oh, hey, like, if you go too far, you encounter these terrifying things called leviathans, which are these huge water beasts that will just eat you, and they're scary. In the normal game, I had never encountered one in VR, and I was showing my friends the game. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just go over here and find a leviathan. Oh my goodness, I've never had such like a primal fear response to anything in a video game. When I saw the leviathan, and they do a good job of like obscuring it in murky water, like you would see in real life. I saw it moving in the water, and I saw its face, and I felt that physical response. Like I couldn't go near it. I had to just nope out of there, and I swam away as fast as I possibly could. That was terrifying. I think, you know what? If I'm remembering right, I think it swam after me, and I started screaming. Like I was next to my friends that I'm like showing VR for the first time, and I was legitimately just like screaming.
Oh, that's awesome.
The second thing that happened in Subnautica was the first time you get to like that drop off. Like you said, like I've spent maybe an hour, 2 hours in the shallows, and I'm already feeling kind of nauseous because it's Subnautica.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I need this research part to get the next thing in Subnautica, but I have to go down into like the red bushes where all the sharks are, like right outside the shallows. And I just swam up to the edge, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't make myself go down into that water. It's too scary.
I don't know what it is about just looking down and not seeing the bottom of water. I don't know why that's so scary. Even when we played, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
You know, like you jump out from the boat to get something, and you look down. Oh my word. Even knowing there's nothing down there in this game, like it is just scary looking down and not seeing a bottom to the water, or watching a boat sink down and then slowly fade away into the distance underwater.
Ugh.
That's some
water
that's
is
some
scary.
spooky.
Have I ever told you, like, one of the times I felt that feeling in real life was also in water? That's like one of the few times I've had a primal fear moment in real life.
No.
Last year, or 2 years ago at this point, because this year has been a very strange year, I went on a cruise for my anniversary with Marion, and we did some snorkeling in the Bahamas, or not the Bahamas, off the coast of Mexico. And it was just like you could still see the shore. Like it was kind of shallow water. Like you could see the floor of the ocean with snorkeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you probably couldn't go down there and back with one breath. So it felt like cool, but we were just snorkeling around, and I looked off to the distance, and maybe like 50 yards away, there was just a barracuda, and it was just chilling, like not moving.
Oh my goodness.
And it was such a weird feeling to be like, if I had seen this at like an aquarium, I wouldn't have felt concern at all. But like knowing that I've never felt so exposed, right? Like I'm sitting there in a swimsuit underwater with like nothing to defend myself. And I'm like, the barracuda's not being aggressive. It's not going to swim over to like 8 different people and like cause trouble, right? It's just wanting to live its life. But knowing that like there's this animal with zero boundary between it and me. Like if it wanted to, it could just be over where I am in like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this scary, gnashy teeth fish. And I was like, this is terrifying to just see this barracuda there. It was really scary.
Fish are weird things, man. Fish are so weird. They're like
horrifying.
aliens.
Yes, especially as you get deeper and deeper. Or Subnautica, in which case they were both fish and aliens.
Ah, touche.
I think that is going to wrap it up for our podcast this week. That is the end of the question and answer section. Remember, if you're liking what you're here, then go ahead and head over to patientplayers.com/listen. You can find other ways to listen to the podcast, watch our video archives, watch our live recordings. You can ask us questions via all sorts of social media or at patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com. Especially check out the Patient Players Discord. It's a community Discord that we run. It's pretty fun over there. We work really hard at it, and you can find us there playing games like Among Us or Heroes of the Storm and hang out with us, ask us questions, that kind of thing. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to get your questions. Your questions help the podcast run. Please send them in. And pretty small operation here. If you enjoy it, please share it with someone you know that you might think enjoys this kind of content, talking about video games, likes deals, and ratings and things like that help everywhere you go. So if you head over to any of the podcast listening services like Apple Podcasts, like Spotify, leave us a review there and get us out there. That would be a really, really nice thing for us. Thank you.
Yep. That'll do it.
See you in future weeks. Stay safe, everyone, on this spooky day. I know it's a little late for when the podcast goes out. I hope you're all still alive.
We hope you had a great Halloween. Meanwhile, we're going to go have a great Halloween.
Adios, everyone.
Goodbye. Woo.